Welcome to this ASP.NET Core Smart Paste button tutorial. This control is designed to simplify data entry by using AI to map copied text into form fields automatically. In this tutorial, I will show you how to add the Smart Paste button control to an ASP.NET Core web application and configure the Azure OpenAI service to power this feature. I will also show you how to use the control in a form. You can create ASP.NET Core web applications using either Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code. In this tutorial, I will be using Visual Studio 2026. Before starting, make sure you have the .NET 10 SDK installed. I will start with the application creation process. Visual Studio is already launched. I choose Create a New Project from the dashboard. I select the ASP.NET Core web app and the Razor Pages template. I click the Next button. Next, I will update the project name and also confirm the file location. I ensure that the .NET 10 framework is selected. When I click the Create button, the application will be created and ready to use. Now, I will show you the process for adding the Smart Paste button control. I open the NuGet Package Manager, move to the Browse tab, search for the Syncfusion EJ2 ASP.NET Core package. The Smart components are available from 32 series version. So, I install the latest available version of the package in the application. Next, I open the View Imports CSHTML file and import the Syncfusion EJ2 tag helper. I navigate to the Layout CSHTML page and add the Syncfusion CSS style reference using the CDN link. I add the script reference for the Syncfusion ASP.NET Core controls. Then, I register the script manager using the EJS scripts tag at the end of the body section. Next, I need to configure an AI service for this application. This enables the Smart Paste button control to intelligently map copied text into the corresponding form fields. Syncfusion Smart components support multiple AI providers, including Azure OpenAI and Ollama. In this tutorial, I will be using Azure OpenAI. Before I can connect to the service, I need to install the required NuGet packages. So, I navigate to the NuGet Package Manager and search for the Microsoft Extensions AI package. Once it appears, I select it and proceed to install it. It helps the app use many AI providers through one interface. Next, I install the Microsoft Extensions AI OpenAI package. This adds support for OpenAI and Azure OpenAI models using one common interface. Then, I install the Azure AI OpenAI package. This is the SDK that contains all the classes I need to authenticate and communicate with Azure-hosted models. Next, I will add the necessary namespace in the program CS file to access the classes and methods provided by the installed packages. To do this, I will navigate to the program CS file and add the Microsoft Extensions AI namespace, which provides interfaces such as the iChat client for AI-based interactions. Next, I include the Azure AI OpenAI namespace, which enables secure communication with Azure OpenAI resources. Then, I add the Syncfusion EJ2 namespace, required for integrating Syncfusion Smart components. I add the system client model, which is needed by the new Azure OpenAI SDK to support the modern client pipeline used for authentication and request handling. After adding the namespaces, I will configure the AI credentials. For Azure OpenAI, you need three pieces of information: the API key, the endpoint URL, and the model name, which is already available on my side. First, I add the API key to ensure secure access to the service. Next, I add the endpoint URL, which specifies the location of my Azure OpenAI resource. Then, I add the model name that defines which AI model my application will use. I'm using GPT-4o Mini. I establish a secure connection with Azure OpenAI using my credentials. I initialize an Azure OpenAI client instance with my Azure endpoint, an API key. This client is the core of my AI communication pipeline. Whenever I send a request to Azure OpenAI or retrieve a response, this is the object that handles it for me. Once the client is ready, I want to make sure my entire application can use it. To do that, I convert the Azure client into a standard iChat client. This step allows me to work with clean abstraction and inject AI capabilities anywhere I need them, Razor pages, controllers, or components. I register it using Add Chat Client. Finally, I integrate Azure OpenAI with Syncfusion Smart Components by calling Add Syncfusion Smart Components and inject OpenAI Inference. I'm connecting the AI inference engine directly to Syncfusion's UI components. Now, I will show you how to use the Smart Paste button control in this application. I navigate to the index CSHTML page and remove the default markup. Then, I add a simple contact form with submit and reset buttons. The form includes fields for full name, email address, phone number, a message area, a newsletter checkbox, preferred contact method radio buttons, and a country dropdown. I also place the Smart Paste button control inside the form. I must add an ID, because it uniquely identifies the Smart Paste button component. Then I add the content, CSS layout styles, and an icon to enhance the UI. To execute Smart Paste, I add the input fields with content relevant to the form fields. Now, the setup is ready to use. I run the application. In the output, you can see the contact form with the Smart Paste button control. Then, I copy the sample content and click the Smart Paste button. It automatically extracts and maps values to the corresponding form fields. Now, let me summarize. In this video, I showed you how to add the Syncfusion Smart Paste button control to an ASP.NET Core application. I also showed you how to set up Azure OpenAI for AI-powered text mapping, and how to use the Syncfusion Smart Paste button control within a simple form. You'll find the documentation link and GitHub example in the description below. I have also provided a link where you can check if you qualify for a free community license to access all our ASP.NET Core products. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more tutorials. Thanks for watching.